Thank you very much. Good evening to all fellow Toastmasters, guests, distinguished guests. I thank you for being here. I thank you for the opportunity to let me be here. Regarding Hala, just one word, actually 2 words, sleeping in. Okay. Today, I have to deliver my very first speech, and I feel a little bit alien on this stage. I feel just as much alien on the stage as much alien I feel in Kuwait. I think most of you can sympathize with me when I say I feel alien in this country, because most of you, just like me, are coming from a country full of greens and rivers and animals, natural resources. Wherever you go, you find beauty. I'm not saying here is no beauty. Of course there is, but it's a different type. Being a child, I used to roam huge vast areas. All of them were uncharted, and it was safe for all of us, all the children, to be outside in the nature. I used to spend hours and days outside having excursions with my family, just playing with my friends or spending time outside alone. I had only 3 types of true friends, which were animals, trees, and books. And that was just perfectly enough to satisfy me. I remember naming the trees, my favorite trees, and then playing a guessing game with my friends, letting them figure out their names or which was my favorite. I remember bringing home all the stray dogs that I found and I befriended in the street, wanting to save all of them, feeling compassion for them. Unlike my mother, she didn't like this habit. And even when reading books, the books that I was reading were all about the topic of the connection between human beings and nature. I used to love Tarzan, I used to love Mowgli, I used to love Lassie and Buck and all the great stories that the influential writers gave us. However, unfortunately, these feelings and this kind of lifestyle of rivers and blue sky and staring just at the clouds have to be put aside. My grandfather had passed away at that time, so we were forced to move out from the village where we used to live. I had to come to terms with changing my life of nature to a 35 square meters flat in the capital. And at that time, everything started to make sense. When I started to miss what I had before, that started to make sense, and I was looking for the essence of everything. I was looking for replacement. It was a very difficult period of time for me, and while looking for replacement, I started to read. I started to read different topics. I came across lots of things. I had to change Tarzan and Mowgli to my school books of literature, school books of philosophy, school books of mathematics, and later on in my higher education for other things. For entertainment, while going through books, thank you, I was going through books and topics that always had some purpose, had some essence, had some moral. Even today, I'm struggling to read, to go through anything, or to even speak up without a purpose or without influencing. So this is how I came across Walter. This is how I came across antique writers, Orwell even, who else to mention? Let me bring up here someone from the Hungarian poetry. He was a very famous Hungarian poet. And his Ars Poetica, the title of my speech, is just similar to my Ars Poetica. I'm not sure how many of you are aware of the meaning of Ars Poetica. Okay. Ars Poetica is the art of poetry, the art of speaking. The term is originating from the antiquity. So in a wider definition, we can say that Ars Poetica is the way you see the word and the way you see the purpose of yourself. So let me just read out the poem of this poet called Sándor Petőfi. Let no one with a languid finger dare to sweep the strings today. The lyre that's lifted up is ready to get a great work underway. If you can sing of nothing better than your own joy or broken heart, the world can do without your singing. Keep out where you can have no part. It's very clearly defining what I think about of the reason of me being here. My reason of being here is not to entertain, is not to get adored. My reason is to let you think. My reason is to let you go home with the purpose of thinking and to pass on the good that I was able to give you. Thank you. Thank you very much.